Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lynch?
Here.
Urick?
Yes.
Kish? And Watson is excused.
Okay. You had the minutes sent to you. Corrections were noted. Is there anything else to add to the minutes as presented?
Nope, I make a motion to approve as presented.
How's the second?
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes. 24 minutes. You have before you the bills and the financials. Are there any comments or questions upon that, or any explanations that you need to give, Chris?
No, everything's pretty much boilerplate. The $10,000 to Rathman was for the grinding, and everything else is basically monthly payments. And our year-to-date revenue is $153,707.21. And our expenditures are $225,180.34. You have them right there, sir. And we've not gotten the money in for property tax yet.
Yeah, and hopefully that doesn't get
That gives you the
delayed.
numbers you're looking for.
You want this back?
No.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay.
We need a motion.
At this time, if there's no further discussion on the bills, on the financials, I would make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payment of items on the payment listing as specified in documents provided by the fiscal officer.
Second?
Urick?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.
And lastly, we've still not heard back from the auditor, state auditor, so.
We still don't have an update on that
We do
last
not.
audit. Okay, at this time, we'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting. If you have anything that you would like to bring before the board, please let us know. Start here for a second here. Let's see, how many people are here from Bechtel Road area?
Everybody?
Before we go on, is there anyone here who isn't from Bechtel Road?
Or for the annexation?
Are they for the annexation?
Or
Annexation.
regarding the annexation notice? Anybody here for something other than that annexation notice? Okay. If not, if you would like to say something before the trustees, I would invite you to go use the podium, come up to the podium one at a time, state your name, address, and what your position is. But before we go on, I would like to say that as a board, we are much in the same, if not completely in the same seat as you. We don't have much say on this. We do not get to vote on it. We can do what we can to object to it. But when a property owner petitions for annexation, particularly under one of these expedited forms, when they do that, then there's not much we can do. It goes to the county commissioners, and it's their say on it. And on the expedited annexations, they don't have too much wiggle room. It's more of a procedural than it is a public hearing, etc. So I hope that explained our position. I know you come down here, you're upset, and I'm glad that you came down, and I'm glad that you have a place you can go and talk to. But I'm going to tell you, as far as a board, what we can do as a township, there isn't much. We're in the same boat. We get a notice, and we got to do what we can to fight it. But it's not our decision to say yes or no.
David,
Do you
Jan,
wanna
can you
add
call
something?
up the map, please? Color-coded map. Yeah, just to be clear, David, because people receive notice there's an annexation, I don't know if they're aware of what's going on with this annexation and why the property owner has requested this. So I think it's important that they get that introduction first. You'll see the area outlined in blue, and Georgianne, can you run the cursor around there? This is the approximate, little over 66 acres that the property owner wants annexed to the city of Elyria. And you see the city of Elyria is in green, so it is contiguous to the city, so that's where David referenced that they could annex it. There are some things they have to meet. It has to exceed more than 5% of the perimeter. It does. We've checked it. It's a little over 16%. So they do meet that requirement. It does show two modes of ingress and egress, one being on Bechtel and one being on Fowl Road. Bechtel Road is a township, or I'm sorry, on Albrecht. Bechtel Road is a township road and Albrecht is a county road. And obviously with the traffic patterns for the potential future housing development, which is what the developer who has a signed purchase agreement to purchase this for, those residents will also be using Fowl Road, which is a joint township, Elyria Township and Amherst Township Road. So we've got what the developer had told the township back in August of 2025 was that he did not want to annex. And he was looking at getting sewers provided by Lorraine County. It would require a lift station. That would be his preference, but this area is in the city of Illyria's facility planning area. And I know that for many of you, that's going to be something you're not familiar with. But as a result of the Clean Water Act, in our area, all of Lorraine County falls under a group called the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency. And that agency has been chartered by the governor of Ohio, and it's not Governor DeWine, this was done well before him. And realize Clean Water Act is back in the 70s. And they carved out areas for municipalities or a community that had their own wastewater treatment facility. And Elyria does, and they call them designated management areas. And the intent is that they can better treat the wastewater that we all produce on our properties than our on-lot systems, particularly when you get higher density. And obviously developers don't like the larger lots that we tend to favor in the township. They want the higher density because it gives them a better return on their investment. And when you get that higher density, you definitely have to have central wastewater treatment. Typically, Lorraine County Public Health is requiring almost 2 acres for new homes that are being constructed to have an on-lot system. They do allow some that are smaller in acreage, but I can assure you if that's the case, you're going to have a much more expensive mound system put in. It's not going to be one of the septic or aeration type. It's going to be a mound. And you're probably getting up into the $30,000 to $40,000 just for your on-lot system once you have that. And as you're aware with the current rules, and it's by statute, you're then on a regular inspection program by Lorraine County Public Health. The developer on this particular one he's looking at 130 to 150 homes to be put in there. The type of zoning that Elyria allows, that he selected, actually allows him to put in 170. And I would think if he gets that zoning, if he's able to fit in 170, even after he has a little takeaway from the roads, he's going to try and put in 170. So I think that's probably the main thing that's there for you to understand, that we're aware this developer does not want to annex, but he has no choice for him to develop the property the way he wants to develop it. As David's indicated, our options are limited. That doesn't mean they're zero. And we will be talking with the Board of Commissioners. I would certainly encourage you, if you have questions, to talk with your commissioners also, since they are going to be the decision body as to whether this annexation is approved or not. and there are sections, it's called a Type 2 annexation. You won't see in the Ohio Revised Code anything that says Type 2, but if you search on Ohio Type 2 annexation, you will, just Google it, you'll find plenty of information to educate yourself prior to having any discussions with your Board of Commissioner representatives. So with that, David, I think that gives people enough background on this. If you want to
Where
call out
we're
people
at.
in organized fashion that want to speak on it.
Who would like to speak? In the back. Yes, sir. If you could come up to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Richard Reitzel. I live at 9453 Bechtel Road. I'd like to know why I'm not shown as a landowner and why I didn't receive a notice.
Richard, can you point out on the map, is the pointer there?
Who's the point?
Oh, hang on, it's coming. All right, Richard, this will make it easier for you. And if you're not 100% certain where it is, we do have the auditor's website open also, and we can find your property.
Albrecht is
Right
right
here?
right down there. And Bechtel is right
Okay,
here.
I'm right here.
You should have received notice.
I didn't receive notice, and I'm not on the list of landowners.
Okay, and that may be why I neglected to mention, since the notice went out to the property owners, you probably heard from one of your property owners or on social media, Richard, is the attorney for the property owner has pulled the annexation, but he's indicated that he still plans on refiling it. And there was no indication why, but we suspect it was a procedural error. And if you didn't get a notice, that could be one of two things. He may not have had a procedural error. It's possible it didn't come through the mail for whatever reason. That's beyond his control. But it's possible he didn't have you on the list, and we do have the original list that he put together of property owners that he was going to notify.
How
But he'll
large-
correct that flaw.
How large is your lot?
Half acre. It's right next to Riccardi.
Are you one of those front lots that would make you non-contiguous?
I don't know what you mean by that.
If you look at the map,
I live right on Bechtel Road, on the last house on Bechtel Road.
last house on Bechtel,
Now Riccardi, who is the sellers, are right next to me.
and you're on a half acre, I would think that those smaller lots are half acre lots,
That could be.
and some of those lots do not touch the back, they're surrounded by another lot.
No, it's not. Mine will be where's the roadway? Mine,
I'm,
well, okay, mine's right next to where they're gonna, if they clear that house out, it's gonna be all open. So it will be adjoining whatever they put in there. So I just wanna make sure they got me on that list or any notice.
9453.
945.
Georgian.
She can call it up, Richard,
She's gonna call it
but
up.
realize that it's going to be the legal representative for the property owner that is going to send out the notice. There's no requirement for the township to be sending these out. And even though we got wind of this back in August of 2025, the trustees prepared if this did happen, but we weren't going to start acting on it because we've had all sorts of proposals in the township you get wind of, or somebody contacts our zoning inspector and it never comes to fruition. And if we reacted on all of those, we'd be spinning our wheels like a hamster and it just doesn't make sense. But it's definitely, once it got filed, that's where we're going to take a much higher interest in what happens. Did you find this property, Georgiana? Now, this is the actual Lorraine County Auditor's website that all of you have access to. And
okay, it's the last one down there, and whoever has property
Doesn't
to the
touch.
south, who has property to your south? That's right. Okay.
If Riccardi's are selling the property,
and their property's right next to mine, how come I'm not touching?
Different parcels, they're not selling that parcel.
That's the parcel.
Yeah. They're not selling all their property, they're just selling these two large parcels. Okay. That's why you didn't.
Yeah, I'm not certain though if what you're being told is legally correct, and I'm not an attorney, so you'd have to talk with someone. But that's something to bring up later because the statute says all owners, there's three groups that are notified. The municipal corporation, any affected township, all owners of property adjacent to the territory proposed for annexation, and all owners adjacent to a road that is adjacent to that territory and located directly across that road from that territory. Now, you guys read the way lawyers write, because I don't understand that. Does that just mean the person that's on all of Bechtel is adjacent by that one context? So does that mean all property owners on Bechtel get notified? Or is that other conjunction and just the property owner across the street notified? You know, I don't know if that's lawyers need to get involved or our grammar school English teachers. But that's what the statute reads. So it's questionable, Richard, if you should have been notified or not. If it were me, I would have sent you a notice anyway just to cover all bases. But again, that's not our decision. That's a legal representative for the property owner.
All right. Anyone, oh, it's Barb.
I mean, I'm thinking that I live on Bechtel Road. We are north, though. We're closer to
Barbara
the
Cantola.
properties that are higher up on the road. Probably, the eighth one down, coming from the top, from the old schoolhouse. And, you know, the reason we moved out here was because of, you know, the land was, you know, open. We have almost 11 acres. We have horses. You know, we moved away from where we were so that we could enjoy the country. And I'm just so frustrated that we feel like they've decided, well, no, you can't have what you had before. We want to, you know, the airport, notwithstanding, talking about building a mega site, which I don't know if that's still going forward. It sounds like it is. And then you have this huge property that is going to be split up into little tiny pieces that, as opposed to like, you know, we had to have, you know, our thing was a minimum of 8 acres, which is kind of why we got more, because they split out 8 acres, 8 acres, 8 acres, acres, and ours was kind of everything left over that wasn't only 8 acres. So it's, you know, you come out with that and you're like, oh, this is good. This is a deed restriction and it should follow. And it's just frustrating that someone can come in with enough money and, you know, they're probably not going to live here anymore because they've just sold for millions, and all the rest of us have to, I guess, live with it the rest of our life. And it's just frustrating that, you know, what can we do, you know, aside from like a major lawsuit, you know, and that just will cost everyone money, hopefully them more than us. So and that's just a level of frustration.
Yeah, that is America, and you can definitely do that, but I'd suggest you read the statute because they claim in the statute that then the Board of Commissioners' decision is not appealable. I mean, that's the way the law is written.
If you want to say something, go on.
Can you like recall commissioners?
The commissioner, it'd be your state representatives, and that's everybody at the state that sets the statute. I know when the current law was updated in 2001 was with the Ohio Township Association lobbying. Obviously, townships would prefer that annexation not even exist. that communities have to cooperate and work together if they want any type of economic development. But as soon as you give one community leverage over another community, there's no such thing as someone being powerful acting responsibly. In public office, when somebody is powerful, they're going to lower the hammer. And so the cities can annex, and they're going to annex. Again, as I stated, this developer would prefer that, actually the developer is the one that's going to buy the property, would prefer not to annex. But he also wants higher density, and he's not going to get that without annexation. He could, in Amherst Township, we have the current zoning he could do without even rezoning. He could put 67 homes on this, but he would be required to conserve 40% of the area. And most likely when they do that, they look at where are the existing residents, and you section that area off to just leave natural, so you put that buffer. But we don't have that option. His second option, if he stayed within the township, he would have to apply for rezoning. There's no guarantee he would get that approved, but if the township approved it, he could double the number of lots. So essentially, he could put, that'd be what, 132, he gets one extra, so he get 133 homes max that he could put in. Then he has to set aside 25% of the land as conserved area. But again, right now, it looks like the direction is, Elyria saying, you need sewers, and the only way you're going to get it is through annexation.
Thank you. My name is Jackie Schiller, 9257 Bechtel Road. I appreciate the information you shared tonight because that gives us some more clarification on the developer and his plans and those kinds of things. I understand your hands are tied. I understand that. But would it behoove us, when we approach the commissioners, in your opinion, to have a petition to get people together and to let them know? Or is it just better to just individually try to do that? And I just appreciate your opinion, your wisdom on that, because we've never encountered this before.
My guess would be either or. I know that doesn't answer your question. You know, a petition shows that there is backing behind the cause. Yeah, but even people approaching the commissioners individually, they'll see there's quite a few people out there that are concerned about this. I think a petition and going to the meeting, but they've got criteria that if it's met, they have to say yes to. Whatever wiggle room is there on some, hopefully they can.
And if I understand correctly, the commissioners can just decide it. They don't have to take a vote on it. They can just decide.
Well, they have to vote one way or the other. They have to vote, but give a reason. It doesn't meet the criteria if they, won't know, but that doesn't preclude the landowner from coming back and trying it again, trying to meet those.
All right, thank you so much.
If I could suggest, I agree with David, but instead of an either or, I would say all of the above, but I would add to that. First off, hopefully some of you out here have some sort of personal relationship with your commissioners. You don't always put a group this big. Somebody here might know somebody or go to church with somebody. You talk with them individually and do it multiple times, that's going to help. You give them something in writing, that's going to help. So a petition is not legally binding in any way. It still shows the amount and level of interest. That's going to help. So, and then eventually the commissioners do have to put this on their agenda. So I would suggest that you watch those agendas that are printed, and I would also suggest you send in writing to the commissioners and also the clerk, Teresa Upton, for the commissioners, that you want to be notified when they put this annexation on their agenda so that you can attend that meeting. And I would recommend that you attend that meeting, and they have a sign-up sheet if you wish to speak, and they limit you on the amount of time you get. I don't recall if it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but if you have 20 people and you say something different, you get an hour. So You definitely should do all of the above, because it's not necessarily a done deal. There is negotiation that could perhaps change this, either prevent the annexation, or even with the annexation, get some sort of agreement as far as the density of the development and buffering area between the existing residents.
Okay,
So those possibilities exist.
all right, thank you very much.
Is there,
And Teresa's email and phone number?
I don't have it. Do you
I
have
do.
it, Chris? Oh,
If anybody's interested, Teresa Upton, who's the clerk of the courts, her email is T as in Teresa, Upton, UPTON, @loraincounty.us, and her phone number is 440-329-5103.
thanks, Chris.
Sure.
thank you, Chris.
Jim Cantola, 8780 Bechtel Road. Again, we're a little bit further north, but I went through the Ohio Administrative Code, and there's like 6 things to address annexations. One of them, the township, should have a management plan with all our surrounding, whether it's Lorraine, Amherst, Elyria Township, New Russia Township. There's supposed to be a management plan. You set boundaries of where our property is at. So I'm just wondering, do we have a management plan with Elyria Township? Can we set a boundary? Hey, this is Amherst Township. This is not Elyria Township. This is not Elyria. Do we have any standing there?
Yeah, I assume what you're referring to, Jim, is, you mean a land use plan?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Amherst Township has a comprehensive land use plan, and then we have a zoning resolution
Yeah.
that pretty much complies with it. You know, sometimes it'll start straying a little bit as things change.
Yeah.
But that still does not give us any authority to stop the property owner from annexing to an adjoining city, the way the statutes are set up.
Yeah, but
So,
it's a huge hit on the township, though. And like my wife was saying, we moved out here 36 years ago because it's a nice, peaceful country setting. And now all of a sudden we're getting bombed with all these housing everywhere. And what happened to all the green space? I know, David, you always push green space. You get the one up here on Oberlin Road, right back there, yes. That's, it's going from 58 over here to Oberlin Road. There's no green space. There's building on top of each other. Same thing here. It's going to be building a house on top of each other. Where's the green space?
You're absolutely correct, but again, this is where you've got to comply with the law. The specific development you mentioned was a result of a court settlement agreement. The township said no. And we also knew as far as what our leverage was, because we did get some concessions, and I could go through those, but it's a long list.
Yeah.
But we also knew that the developer had the option of annexing, and we were fortunate that they didn't. It would have cut our township off and taken away a significantly valuable area in 58 for commercial development, where we hope to get more of the revenue in terms of property taxes versus having it put on homeowners. You know, we can't be just a straight bedroom community if we want to be sustainable and provide people with the services that they want. So what we tried to do with the trustees of the board is to accommodate the existing residents that were there. And we weren't looking as far out as Bechtel and Albrecht. So if you look at the people on Oberlin Road and 113, is we put the concession, we eliminated one of their modes of ingress and egress, cut off 25 homes there, and we said you've got to be 750 feet off of the center line of the road on State Route 113 and Oberlin Road. Then you have to put another 50-foot buffer. And then we went through the property owners on who would have a buffer, either a mound system, that's landscape, or they were going to put in the detention basins in those locations to give them more buffer in there. And then we made sure that the detention basins had larger capacity in terms of holding storm water, and also a slower release in storm water, much more strict than what the developer would typically have to meet. I mean, there were multiple things here. We took the main spline road, no driveways on there, no homes, so now they have to build a large roadway. No developer wants to build a roadway and not line it up with homes. Well, we said, no, because we know that's just gonna be accident impingement, and every accident we have costs the township 800 to $1,000, because we pay on a fee per service. So it was a tough thing, but when you're in that situation, you say, well, we can, and we told the residents, we can drive the stake in the ground if you want us to just keep fighting and say no, but here's what's gonna happen.
Well,
Then we have no say once it becomes a city.
Right. And then just any kind of profit center, any kind of taxable land, the city jumps on it. So, our church is on the corner of 113 and West Ridge. They kind of got annexed into Leary.
Right, that got an act.
Yeah.
And you remember the history on that one?
The
What
artesian
Leary Township
water
did?
springs are making money. Let's tax them. Let's get them into the city. Nelson Stud, let's annex them so we get their tax money. And that's all they look for. They're looking for money, more money, more money. And we got to stop that, that's all. Because where's our income going? Where's the township's tax money going? It's residential primarily. Because Elyria and Lorraine are stealing all of our manufacturing and other sources of income, so.
All right, thanks, Joe. Anyone, would you like to say something? Step up to the podium and...
Good evening. My name is James Roman. I'm at 45549 Russia Road, right across from where the mega site's going to want to go. And we've been following this for about a year now, and we knew there was some developments going in around where they want to put this mega site because people from the state of Ohio told us, where are these 10,000 construction workers going to live? We just didn't know where. Now we're starting to see it. And we're also starting to see that we're thinking, can't no other township annex us. But Elyria is going to start moving their way in. And we all know that the state hates townships. We don't really pay anything. Our property tax is what pays for us to survive. We don't pay, all the different income taxes and stuff like that. I'm wondering, do you guys even know who the developer is?
Yes.
Do you mind sharing that?
Pardon?
Do you mind sharing it?
Yeah, it's Rich Barron.
Rich Barron? So, that's just some of the things that we're fighting with you guys. Brownhelm, all of us, Grafton, all of us townships have really been trying to get around to everywhere. We got a zoning meeting today, I guess, over there, so there's a bunch of people over there, and it's kind of exhausting. We've been running 3 days a week, just trying to figure out everything. So we are here for you guys. We're here to help back you guys. New Russia Township is definitely on board with any township. We have obtained an attorney, so we are fighting it. We've already turned it down, and our next pleas, when is it, Thursday? Thursday, we got our hearing, yeah. Well, we got our hearing tomorrow. So please.
As far as New Russia Township goes in this annexation, you can see the southernmost point of that property touches, a road which is across the street from New Russia Township.
Right.
So you're starting to bring Elyria more toward New Russia Township, although I don't know what you could annex with that much, about 100
Well,
foot
I mean,
frontage here.
right, but I can see where it's all building because we were one of the first people when the commissioner came into New Russia Township the first time, Mr. Moore.
There's pressure to build homes
Right.
all over the place, Sometimes I
Right,
think
and sooner or
too
later,
much-
it's
too much
just
pressure.
coming, right.
Too much-
It's just coming west, Avon, North Ridgeville, and it just keeps moving this way.
And, well,
And
part of the problem with the pressure on the building of houses is it's too much pressure all at once, and you're getting too much, the quality isn't there. And you're meeting a situation, a 2020 situation that's going to have a solution that's going to be there for 100 some years. So what you're committing to now is going to have ramifications way into the future. I don't see it as a good situation, and I think that it's too much just pull whatever out and it sells, and whatever I can make the most money on. And I don't think you're necessarily gonna get the quality there. You're gonna get a profit margin, but you're not gonna get a quality.
Well, one of the big things
But
with
that's
Elyria,
those are my thoughts on it, but
Right.
right now, as far as this goes, you know, we've got this annexation and, you know, the certain rights that are spelled out in procedure, that are spelled out in the state law and the revised code, and they gotta follow that.
Right.
And you take the petition, you file it with the commissioners, and the commissioners have to rule on it. And it's non-appealable, and it's pretty much an administrative decision. Now, they check off all the boxes, and if they check all the boxes, then it's annexed. That's what
right,
they're,
and that was one of the things that, you know, we looked at with Elyria when we heard this was coming about was there's so much in Elyria that's just fell apart. There's empty buildings, there's empty lots, there's just places that are falling apart. I mean, they got empty acres and acres of empty, you know, factories that could be eliminated and build homes. But just like I said, you know, not to drag it on, but they have plenty of room in Elyria
Okay.
to clean up Elyria first.
All right.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add to this?
Make a political statement?
You may.
I don't know, Jim, can you whisper what it is first?
Well, in addition to this annexation, I think a lot of people are upset about the whole mega site. And if you can vote for Will Schlechter in May, he's totally against it. So that would get rid of one of the commissioners. 2 years from now, we'll get rid of the other two commissioners. It's a way to take over control of the county from these guys, but stop all this.
Who's the second one? It's just Will.
Will this year, the next two are 2 years away.
Okay. Well, back to the point.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. In the back, do you have something?
After everybody from Bethel Road is built, I would say.
Okay, all right.
Good evening. My name is Terrence Ransom, 9300 Fowle Road. Thank you for hosting us. I bought my house about 2 years ago. I'm originally from Elyria, but lived in California for 35 years. So the thought of being able to purchase a property that I can have the space that I want, have the peace and quiet that I need, and work my behind off to get to this point is so demoralizing because the community that I live in, on Fowle Road, it's a close-knit group of people. I have seen in 2 years, you know, 2 moderate winters and 2 moderate springs, but I've also paid attention to how the ground takes the water, how all of these things that are going to happen are going to shift, and how they're going to be able to protect us who already have properties. You also add into the fact that we have our own wildlife out there. You know, we have a, you know, so how do we get to protect our wildlife? I mean, it's not like we go out and feed them, but they're part of our community. Whether it be foxes, the birds, the bird community, whatever the case may be, we have grown to be able to love that. So if that's ours and that's what we've grown to protect and take care of, who's to say that you just take that away from us? And our hard-earned dollars should count too. It really should. Add on to the fact that I've seen constructions happen, and I know what happens when you start moving ground, you're gonna start moving animals, rodents are gonna move. Where are they gonna move? They're gonna move to our area. Now, they're comfortable where they are because that's farming community. It doesn't matter what tractor goes over the top of it, they're comfortable with that. But when you start talking about moving houses, concrete, all of these things, they gotta go somewhere. And so now we are the ones that are supposed to take the brunt of that. So when you say nothing's a done deal, I think it also helps to know who's fighting for us. I mean, I get it if you're saying we need to go get our own attorney, if that's what we're supposed to do, i.e. the gentleman right
Let
there.
me
is
correct,
just-
I never said you need to go, I said it's your right.
It's our right to.
Yes, that's a decision you have to make as individuals or as a group.
Well, when in sitting here listening, not really hearing anybody say ironclad, we're going to go knock this out for you. We're going to just jump in front of this train. We're going to fight with you. We're going to fight. We don't have no choice but to fight. We're already there. We're established. But it would help to know what our township is willing to put in. What should we expect from you all?
Yeah, the township right now is meeting with their legal counsel to discuss what their strategy will be in addressing this. Now that this annexation was filed, even though it was technically pulled back, as far as we saw when they pulled it back, they indicated they're going to refile. So now we know for certain it's happening. I can't say what the strategy is going to be till we've had full discussion with our legal counsel. And even then, we're going to look for our counsel to give us direction. Do we share the strategy with which now will become an opposing side? Or do we say it's more strategic, nope, wait till the decision's to be made, and then you lay your trump card? So, this I can't discuss with you, but we're going to be going over that tonight in executive session because we do consider this a legal matter.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
I think another item to keep in mind is if it does get annexed, you want to stay in touch with the city of Elyria for any rezoning or plan reviews that would go on within the city of Elyria. Even though you're not part of the city, at least attend those meetings and let it be known that you're an adjoining landowner, and it does matter what's in back of you, what goes on, and push for some kind of buffering, some kind of mitigation to traffic and whatnot. And if a city wants to grow, it's got to sell itself, and if part of the way it's going to sell itself is it doesn't care about people around them, then I think that's a pretty poor way to sell yourself. So I would emphasize that to them too. But in numbers, it does have an impact. I don't want to candy coat anything. I don't want to say, oh yeah, this is a piece of cake. Let's just say no. This is difficult, and it's pretty lopsided in favor of the annexation. It's not one of my more favorite sections of the revised code. Trust me, it's not. But you've got to keep vigilant. If there's something we can hang it on, then we'll try to do that. We are. We're looking at a brick wall here. It's tough, and we've been thinking about this since we got word of it last August or so. How are we going to approach this? What can we do? So it's not that we've done nothing. We're trying to figure a way to not have it annexed. All right. Anyone else have something they want to add? You do, sir. I appreciate the comments.
Yeah, we'll need to be on the mic because this is recorded.
Yes.
I'm Neil Brigette. I currently live at 43700 Albrecht Road. We live right here. We built a house. We actually bought these two lots from the Montines. We used to live right here. We lived there for 25 years on 9327 Albrecht Road. My I guess question or concern is, what about our septic systems if they annex that? Because I'm no expert by any means, but this is the county ditch. And I know along Bechtel, because right where we live right here, all these, the drain tile comes down here to the ditch for all these homes and these homes. And then we all put in, these were houses were built a while ago, but these new ones, all the leach systems, are we gonna be forced to tie into the sewer? Is my biggest question. Is everything that borders that gonna become Elyria Township or annexed as well? Because we have to tie into the new sewer. Same question? Anybody know?
You want my opinion?
I think you have to be within 200 feet of a sewer line in order to be considered accessible. Unless they're gonna put a line 200 feet to your house, within 200 feet of your house, then I don't think they can make you do that.
Well, like this is like say this is, because this was our house right here.
Yeah,
And this was the access road.
Well,
right there,
sewers
and
wouldn't
this was
go-
vertical. Well, I'm saying, so this guy, the ditch goes right where the blue line is.
sewers wouldn't go there. Sewers would come in from the north,
But,
and they're not gonna run a sewer to Bechtel Road.
so where's this leach, where's all
Well,
these
they-
leach systems gonna go? They're gonna get rid of the county ditch? Because they're gonna develop all this? So everybody's leach systems run into the county ditch. And the county ditch runs straight through the center of the,
Yeah, David,
the-
I don't,
can I address this?
go ahead.
First off, the authority that determines if you have to connect to a public sewer is Lorraine County Public Health. So if you have questions, you'd be best to talk with them, the sanitary engineer over at Lorraine County Public Health. Ann McCuzga is the one that handles our area, if you want to ask for Ann, the sanitarian, directly. But a couple of things, the newer home, like your home is with the leach field, is you should not be discharging off of your property. And that's why the health department's even requiring larger lots now for on-lot systems. Now, the older homes where you lived before, you might have been allowed to, you definitely were, you were allowed to have off-lot discharge. That's no longer available. But for the health department to make that decision to connect is the first thing they're going to look at two terms that are, they call it accessible and available. Accessible is when it's going to be within 200 feet of your home. Now, I'm not sure because I don't want to speak out of turn. You have to look at the revised code. I thought it was within 200 feet of the front face of your home, but I could be mistaken on that. But there is a 200 feet requirement. But Elyria could also say, since they would own the sewer if it got annexed, that it's not available, they're not going to allow you to connect for whatever reason. And it could be that maybe they've reached their peak flow, maybe they're exceeding their average flow, maybe it's because of elevations where, and then the health department determines, no, you would need your own lift pump to gain access. There's all sorts of decisions. So it's not something we can determine here, but it would be the ultimate determinant would be Lorraine County Public Health in the city of Elyria. But I'm not aware, and in my opinion, they're probably not going to force anybody that's in the township today to connect in there.
Yeah.
so can I ask one more question? So then if this is all annexed, you're saying all this around this boundary will still be considered the township, everything outside this?
Right, the outside,
Yeah.
yes, that would still be the township.
Okay.
So, and then it's a strange thing with the type of annexation that the developer or the property owner actually is asking for, this type 2, is the new residents that would live in there would still pay property taxes of the township, but the city of Elyria can, they'll obviously have their income tax, but they can also levy property tax. So perhaps if somebody educates those residents knowing that you might be paying double to two different communities, maybe they'll, who knows what that'll impact the value those properties. I can tell you already, where you see all that development that's happening on this section of Elyria right now, you see the homes going up over there predominantly.
And the other in the
development.
fouls?
So, not, on Fowl, we got the larger ones. But
Yeah, that's,
up next to Fowl's the market, a little
Okay.
bit to the east, you see all the, I mean, you can't miss it. There's
Yeah.
the development going in, it's tight. Those lots are selling between $60,000 and $65,000 a lot, once all the utilities are there. That's not the home, just for the lot. In Amherst Township, at the sandstone development that Jim mentioned, they're $72,000 to $75,000 a lot now for the equivalent lot size. So location and what your costs are have a lot to do with the value of those properties. Not too far from where this is, but you got a $10,000 to $15,000 differential on a per acre basis. I mean, that's a fact. You can
Yeah.
look it up on
no,
the
I
auditor's
paid for it, I
website.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I understand that.
And some of it's also the school system. I mean, there's all sorts of factors that enter into that, but,
Okay,
yeah, Brad? State your name anyway.
I will, I promise.
We made Jen and DJ do it.
I'll follow the rules. Brad Lacko, 516 Maple Creek Drive, Amherst. Mr. Yurig, Neil, I have a couple questions for clarity. Once this is annexed, as you can see here by the blue line, we create an Amherst Township island here, correct? Can we do that?
We are going to have discussions with our legal counsel and set up
One of the
strategies.
items.
Okay. Second question, should this island change, would that give enough frontage with the precedent here for annexation possibilities of New Russia Township?
That's a legal question. I can only give an opinion. It's,
I mean,
From the back row, just looking from the back row up there, these are the two things that I see, and I'm just curious, because we're annexing here, and we're touching here. This is probably not enough to annex a lot of New Russia Township after
you
they
have to
connect.
be contiguous at least 5%. Okay, that's 1 out of 20. So
Or a
if
type
you're, for example, if that's 100 foot, I think it might be 125, I'm not sure what the width is, but say it's 100 foot, you would need 20 times that, 2,000 feet. You could annex 2,000 feet of perimeter. Because you need to touch at least 5%.
Okay.
for a type
1/20th of it.
2, correct that, David, for a
Something like
type
that.
2 annexation. There's other types of annexation. I don't want to mislead somebody.
Or
Right.
type 2, but that's
Just
something that
curious.
they look at. But, so the more property you have that's exposed to the south, in the city of Elyria, the more that could be annexed. I think.
Right, the more
Generally,
it could be. So we're talking acres, size,
yeah.
or frontage at this
That
point.
would be the
That's probably
general
not
rule
enough
of
to
thumb.
make a serious annexation or stretch into the town, New Russia Township if that were to occur, right?
Mhm.
And the island question will be answered later. Thank you.
We'll find out. That's one of the things we're looking at. Right, if there's nothing else, come before for you to bring forward. Any other questions, comments? Like I say, our hands are tied too. We don't have all the answers. We hope we can point people in the right direction. You know, be vigilant, go to the commissioners. If something does get annexed, you know, the strategy would be stay in touch with the city of Elyria, let them know how your feelings are. And remind them that if you ever want somebody to annex, you gotta treat the people good, so. Okay, that's nothing else from the audience. Well, we have today, what I was going to bring up under correspondence, but it kind of dovetails where we are now. Received yesterday, March 9th, was a letter to the county commissioners. Dear Ms. Upton, on behalf of the petitioner Lulu LLC, I hereby withdraw the reference petition. Please advise when I may pick up the material submitted with the petition. However, as I will be refiling the petition, please retain the deposit that accompanied the initial filing. Thank you. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions that you have. Very truly yours, John D. Clark. So they did withdraw the petition, which is good news, bad news. The bad news is they're going to refile. But it gives us a little more time to think about, see what you can come up with, and give you time to get organized. Now that we know that it's serious, that it's coming down. But I did want to bring that forward and let you know that's where we're at. And then, and as soon as we're done here, with your comments, we're going to move into an executive session, and we will be with the attorney, our attorney Barb Tamas, the prosecutor's office, and we're going to be discussing this annexation, and what we can and can't, and ways we can approach this. So, not right, well, as soon as they're finished, because when we go into an executive session, we'll probably ask that people leave, because we have to be in private.
You can come back if you want when we're done, if you want to sit in your car, but we don't have a private room here to have open discussion, so, and sometimes we get loud, we don't necessarily get angry, but we get...
But what's important, I wanted to hear what you had to say, and the second thing was, perhaps some of the things that you said could give us ideas when we speak with the attorney.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 12122, G3, conference with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action, reference a potential annexation, and G8, consider confidential information related to marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, personal financial statements of an application for economic assistance or negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that both of the following conditions apply. Well, G8, executive session for 12122 G3 and G8. That's what that would be my motion.
I'll second.
Euring,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Okay, we are now in executive session. Okay, I make a motion then, return from executive session at 9:25.
A second.
Euring,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Okay. Where's my agenda here? Okay, correspondence, announcements.
Want to give Barb leave?
Yeah, I think you have in the packet, Neil, you have a prepared resolution regarding the proposed tax increment financing to be considered by the Lorraine County Board of Commissioners for 32.66 acres, sandstone commercial parcels, TIF per Ohio Revised Code 570978, in order to negotiate a mutually acceptable compensation agreement. We have a proposal before us for a TIF for the commercial property of the sandstone development. This basically objects to that agreement with the county, and I believe moves to negotiate a fair, a better settlement with that. You prepared that section 1 on this resolution. The Amherst Township Board of Trustees objects to the Lorraine County Board of Commissioners proposed sandstone development TIF resolution exemption for the number of years in excess of 10, and for the percentage of the improvement to be exempted in excess of 75%. The Township Trustees desire to negotiate a mutually acceptable compensation agreement with the Board of Commissioners. It is found and determined that all formal actions of the Township Trustees concerning relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting, and that all deliberations of the trustees and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including the revised code. Do you want to make this?
Yeah, I'll make that motion to bring it to the floor.
Okay, Neil, motion, I will second.
And just so you're aware, Dave, in discussion, we received this notification on February 27th, and we have 30 days after receipt of the commissioner's notice to object. So that's why it's timely. We have to do this now.
Yes.
To let them know.
And I believe this is Resolution 3-5.
Yes, it is.
And if you have no objection, I'm going to contact Mr. Duncan to have the Lorraine County Economic Development Director, to have some discussions and explain our logic on this and what our position is. And our position in negotiation is that the property in Amherst Township, we do not give up any property tax in support of the infrastructure for this development.
Okay, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Okay, motion's been made, seconded. No further discussion. I'll call roll call on.
Yes.
Gehrig?
Yes. Okay, second item. Moving back to correspondence. Okay, I read that. I have a piece of correspondence from Ohio Edison. Hello, we are reaching out to let you know that one or more streetlights in community will be upgraded to LED as part of Ohio Edison /FE First Energy 5-year streetlight conversion program. Over this time, older streetlight technologies such as high-pressure sodium and mercury vapor fixtures will be gradually replaced with modern, energy-efficient LED fixtures. To help us plan this transaction, we would appreciate your feedback on any preferences or restrictions your community may have for LED street lighting. And talking by default, Ohio Edison First Energy will install a 3,000 Kelvin LED fixture. Your community may choose a 4,000 Kelvin LEDs or a combination of both. A visual comparison of 3K and 4K color temperatures is shown. This is what I need to work out with them. I called the individual. This is from Brian Bear. I spoke with him today, and the gist of it is this. It's getting impossible to get replacement bulbs for the high-pressure sodiums. They just quit making them. So what's going to happen is, as lights go out in the township and the bulbs need to be replaced, they're going to be replaced with an LED light. And sometime in the next 5 years, according to him, they'll do a general conversion, but right now it will be whenever they need to replace a bulb, it'll go to an LED, according to him. I understand it correctly. And a couple of things, I need to know what the good equivalent is, so I'll work with him to find out what a good equivalent is to our lights in LED. And the second thing, I'm inquiring about that, the cost of the lights, because as you know, with the ESIP program, the way it was structured, the high-pressure sodium lights were actually cheaper than the LEDs. So I have to find out if this is still the case, or whether they've adjusted that, or whether in this case they'll go to a discount for the LEDs. I don't know. This is something I need to clarify with him. But per that Brian Bear with Ohio Edison, they're going to have to go to LEDs anyway because they're going to quit making the other ones. But that's the gist of it. I'll work with him, get information. But, you know, my concern was to commit to a higher per light cost. But according to him, you're not going to have much choice because you're not going to be able to get anything but an LED. You know, So that's the gist of that.
Yeah, David, this doesn't change our cost. And there's two specific items that are requested here, and then a third one that's alluded to. First, if you prefer a mix of 3,000 Kelvin or 4,000 Kelvin, please provide a map and/or a list of the streets indicating where each should be installed. I don't think we want to do this a hodgepodge. You've got the color up here right now between the 3,000, 4,000 Kelvin. The 3,000 is the softer, that gives you the more yellow in it, which is what our current lighting tends to give. I know in our home, when LEDs started and we changed from compact fluorescent to LEDs, we tried the white ones, certainly didn't like it in the house, so we went with the ones that are the 3,000 Kelvin, which is the default. I would recommend that in your discussion with Mr. Bauer, we agree with the default 3,000 Kelvin lights. That's the first one. The second item is please also include a point of contact for follow-up with our engineering team. You are already assigned lighting, so you make it clear they need to discuss this with you. The third item is if your community plans request changes from these recommendations or is interested in decorative or special lighting, our engineering team would be happy to review the option. I think our real thing is going to be the type of fixture. And you see, they refer to the colonial, the acorn, and the shoebox fixture. And they give you the three options showing up here, in addition to the cobra, which we know are the big ones, look like a cobra, why the reason they're called like that, which tend to be the ones that are pole mounted. The ones that tend to be direct burial or mounted on a concrete support are the colonial and the acorn. We have some similar ones. If you look at what's in Hidden Valley, what's in Hampshire, what's in Copper Creek, and what's in Copper Creek so is not Ohio, that's the city of Amherst, but then Sandstone is we should stick with the same one that's there. What originally happened was we tried to work with First Energy from the get-go to have these at LEDs, but what they told us is we can put in LEDs, but then we will not be in compliance with the ESIP program, and even though it would cost them, they would use less energy, they would charge us more money. So we said, fine. Told the developer, put in the high-pressure sodium because that's what First Energy insists we have to do to maintain the current rates. And they are showing the ESIP rate stays the same. So since First Energy is changing this by default, we are not going to get an increase, but we do get a credit, which tends to be more for the lights that are going to be direct burial or mounted on a concrete support, because now you've got, you don't have to be going up the poles or getting the higher lifts to replace those things with the big Cobra light. So that's actually probably the preferred lighting when you go within the subdivision. So, I think you need to make it clear you're the point of contact, but if you need a motion, I will make a motion that we go with the 3,000 Kelvin. I don't want to see those white ones all over the place.
I tend to agree. I don't want something that's too much. I was just going to wait and see, and we won't necessarily go with a motion right now unless we need one at a later date. Right now, the consensus
You
would
can
be
do it, but you got to
3,000.
let them know one way or the other. And I'm sure that if somebody wants to go with the white one, where you got to create a map, I'm going to suggest that it not be Kevin or Linda that has to create that map. I would assign that to the trustee responsible for lighting.
All right, I'm happy for you. All right, now, okay.
So you're going to put this on a future agenda then?
I can. If we get more information and find out what's what. So that's all I have under correspondence. Reports, ambulance, sheriff, fire prevention officer not here, zoning inspector. Do you have anything to add, Ryan?
Yes. Year to date, we've collected 43 permits. That's $58,989.82, with the park fee sitting at $9,250. Out of those 43 permits, 37 of them are new construction, all in sandstone development. I had 2 meetings yesterday. We'll do the first one with Circle K. They are moving forward with their project on North Ridge and Levitt Road. It's going to be a smaller building than they showed us in previous year. So they will be getting on the April 7th zoning commission meeting. There are several photos of what they plan on doing. But we'll get a more in-depth site plan in the coming days. The second one was for a new development down off of Levitt, right before the turnpike. They want to do a rezone, so they'll also be coming in front of the zoning commission on April 7th. They did come up with a conceptual site plan of what they want to do. I did express to them that they probably won't get that entrance through that other development. At the top, if you guys look at your paper, you have, I believe that is the one over there by that Shell gas station. I forget what that one's called, that development. But they wanted to rezone that from a general business to an R2. You guys have any questions? If not, that's all I have.
Yeah, how many lots are there, Ryan?
32 lots.
You say it will or will not be connecting to that road to the north?
That's owned by the Amherst city, so I told them that they probably won't get that, but to reach out to them and see what they'd be allowed to do. But I know under the 50 homes, they don't need 2 entrances and exits.
They only need one.
Right.
You know, the local residents will fight it. I don't know what the city will say from a safety standpoint. It should be interconnected. That is a stub street because the intention was to connect. This is one where it probably benefits the township because that happens to be in the county's facility planning area. And so it would be more difficult to annex. Otherwise, that's what we'd be discussing right now.
All right. Okay, that's it now?
Yes.
Do you have anything to add, Kevin, at this time?
The only thing I have to add is, all regular operations are running smooth. We, ordered our last 100-ton, so we will, our 400-ton contract will be fulfilled. And, I am suggesting we get on board with the chip and seal program through the county. I'm suggesting that we chip and seal Horniak Court, Rice Court, and Tina Lane.
So I believe we have a resolution to authorize participation in the Lorraine County Engineers 2026 chip and seal bid. Amherst Township will participate in the Lorraine County Engineers countywide bid for 2026 chip and seal road resurfacing. The following 3 roads shall be included in the bid. Horniak, Rice Court, Tina Lane, Erie Court, and Stang Road, that's 5.
Did I mark that wrong, David?
Are we gonna do all 5 of those, you
We're
say?
doing all 5. That's what it says. Amherst Township will participate in the Engineers Countywide bid for 2026 chip and seal. And instead of 3, it should be just the following roads. Just cross out the 3. And that's why they're all listed.
Following roads, okay. Okay, that's the resolution. Section 2, Kevin Smarch. Okay, well, I will make that the following roads shall be included in the bid. Horniak Court, Rice Court, Tina Lane, Erie Court, Stang Road. Kevin Smarch is assigned project management responsibility for the chip and seal road projects in Amherst Township. Amherst Township Chairperson trustee assigned responsibility for roads. The township administrator and/or road superintendents are authorized to sign any agreements required for the chip and seal project for road construction. The road superintendent is hereby authorized and directed to begin any base repair and pre-leveling work. The fiscal officer is directed to appropriate at least $55,431, 115% of the engineer's estimate, to pay for the Horniak Court, Rice Court, Tina Lane, Erie Court, and Stang road reconstruction, resurfacing, and improvement. And it is found and determined that all formal action of the township trustees concerning relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting, and that all deliberation of the trustees and any of the committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public. Okay, I will hereby make that motion.
And I'll second just Chris, that, the real thing on the appropriation one, I know the budget will come in at our next meeting, but the reason it's put at the 55,400 roughly is just in case bids come in higher, and we don't know what the county will do, whether they reject all the bids or change it. But since you've got to make a decision, which we'll have here at the next meeting, let's go higher on that. Okay?
There's a couple $100,000
Right.
in his other account, so.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Urick?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Okay. Next item on the agenda, okay, senior services, township administrator, nothing. Trustee reports, I have nothing further to bring forward at this time, nothing that can't wait until the 24th. And do you have anything else to bring forward, Neil, at this time?
Just that the Tax Incentive Review
yes.
Council meeting for the Hampshire Farms and Sandstone has been scheduled. It will be at the 4th floor of the County Administration Building, Meeting Room A, on Thursday, March 19th. And Amherst Township is on the agenda beginning at 10:40 a.m. for Hampshire and 10:50 for Sandstone, TIFs 1 and 2.
Okay. That's it. I have nothing further to bring forward at this time. Do you have anything, Chris?
No.
If we have nothing else to bring forward, our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall, 7530 Oberlin Road, Elyria, Ohio. Work session called as needed. Once again, nothing else to come before the board. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I will second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.